I'm Jeff Ward, and the only agenda here is to make you think. It's not often that I say this, and it's not easy. Okay, I probably never say it, and it's not easy. I agree with Donald Trump. I'll add this. Donald Trump has offered a thoughtful and reasonable policy. I'll take it further than that. He's offered a thoughtful and excellent policy. Not only is it shocking coming from Donald Trump, it's shocking to hear any policy discussion at all in this election cycle. Actual policy doesn't seem to matter to the voting public, and actual policy rarely comes up, but he went there. He went there, and yes, I'm using words like thoughtful and reasonable and Donald Trump in the same sentence. The crazy part about his idea, his thoughtful and reasonable idea, is that his followers, if they paid any attention whatsoever to details, they'd be flipping out over this policy. They would be enraged. In fact, they wouldn't even believe it. They would think it's some kind of body double had taken over. It might be the only policy topic he mentions. In fact, it might be the only policy topic that comes up between now and the election. And I might be the only one who finds it interesting and worthy of mention. Voters who support Trump because, just understand this, voters support Trump. The followers of Trump support him because he is the middle finger to people they don't like. He's the middle finger in a culture war. But he just proposed a plan, mentioned a plan that is everything and everybody his followers hate. For the first time in a long time, something coming out of his orange face isn't a lie. It's not an exaggeration or even some revengeful hot take. He's offered a proposal that isn't just economic common sense, in my opinion, and I agree with him. It's a decent and thoughtful approach to immigration. It's a good idea all the way around. I can't believe he said this. And if you ever wanted to know that Donald Trump is a prisoner of the audience, okay, he's going to say whatever the people in front of him want to hear. And as long as they give him positive feedback, he's going to keep saying it. So I think this might be a prime example of being a prisoner of the audience. Either way, it's a good idea and it's the right thing to do. I would also suggest that given this proposal, given where he went and the environment in which he went there, I would also say he doesn't believe most of the redneck stuff he says just to make his followers happy. I think this might be pretty good evidence of that. So what is it? And where is it going? I don't know. Probably nowhere, but I like it. I've made this suggestion before and people ate me alive for the idea. So he goes on a podcast hosted by a couple of tech venture capitalists. That should tell you something right there. But here's the plan, and here's how far he went, and here's how dramatic he said it. What I want to do, I can't do a Trump imitation, but you get the idea. What I want to do, and what I will do, you hear that? What I will do, he says, is if you graduate from a college, I think you should automatically, as part of your diploma, get a green card to be able to stay in this country. Remember, he didn't say this just an idea. He said he's going to do this. He goes on to say, quote, and that includes junior colleges to anybody that graduates from a college. You go there for 2 years or 4 years. I don't care. You're going to get a green card. You're going to stay in this country. Now, can you imagine, just stop there. Can you imagine the response at a Trump rally if he were to say that? They would flip out. First, they would think they would be in shock. They might be in shock for a few days, not knowing what to do with that or what to do about that or where it was coming from. Then they would assume some sort of conspiracy theory that his body had been taken over. He didn't stop there, okay? Remember, this is a candidate going to rallies, and typically the mantra is this: immigrants endanger public safety. They steal jobs and government resources, and even suggested, quote, they poison the blood of our country. Right? Now think about what he's saying. So he doubled down this way. And again, I thought this was thoughtful. He says, quote, "You need a pool of people to work for your company, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people." Now, that's in a Trump kind of way. It's weird, but in a Trump kind of way, it's well said. It's exactly right. His campaign, of course, is scrambling. They're now saying, his press secretary is saying, President Trump has outlined the most aggressive vetting process in U.S. history. In other words, we got to take that back. They didn't see this one coming. Either way, it's the right idea, and he's right about a lot of things. First of all, it is an idea economy. Okay, and there is no denying in an idea economy that many great ideas are created and cultivated on college campuses. I sit in Austin, Texas. You think those cranes in downtown Austin are because of manual labor? They're not. They're because of great ideas that turn into great risk and great reward. And that's a healthy, positive thing. And he's right. He's absolutely right. I'll call it this, his go to college and you stay plan probably even takes it further than I would. But he's saying even a junior college student gets a green card. More immigrants is not the kind of thing you'll hear at a Trump rally. But that's not what it's about. It's about keeping the talent. The bigger picture to this position is, number one, he's acknowledging that it's an idea economy, which is completely counter to what a lot of people have been tricked into believing. Okay, it's not about manufacturing. It's an idea economy. And those ideas often, not always, often are cultivated and created on college campuses. So it's about keeping talent here. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's two things. And he's exactly right. It's about talent and rewarding risk-reward. We want the most talented people challenging themselves. We want to create an environment of risk-reward, and we shouldn't care where you come from to do it because that helps everyone's standard of living. That is exactly what he's saying. It is counter to what many of his followers believe, and that's unhealthy and dangerous. So he's really just saying it's about our talent. And we want educated, he said it, not just me, he said it. We want educated and talented people to stay here. Talent drives ideas, and since it's an idea economy, and talent is often, not always, don't do this thing where you scream and say just because you have a college degree doesn't mean you're going to be successful. That's true. But often, talent comes from college campuses. Look at the economies around most college towns. Money follows ideas, ideas follow money. That's what you want. We shouldn't care where they come from. So he's saying, I want as many talented people as we can get here, and it doesn't matter where you come from. And that is a breath of fresh air. Whether he pushes it forward, I don't know. I suspect probably not. But to say we want talented people to stay here to live by the concept of risk-reward. We want them chasing success. We want them to stay here, and that is exactly where he went. It's a complete opposite approach to what you hear at a hateful Trump rally. The measure of a good economy, I would argue, is about startups. That's not, there's no absolute, but it's a really, really healthy and good measure of an economy. You want people getting a chance to take risk reward. You want as many people competing in risk reward as possible. So our government and colleges should be encouraging that in every way possible. That's his plan. It creates more competition to chase risk reward, the better for all of us. Succeeding at risk reward benefits everyone, no matter where you're from. So this it couldn't be any more opposite, which is what is amazing about this. It could not be more opposite of what his followers believe. Think about, and this is true of the Republican Party now, a Republican Party that is now his, which really makes this amazing. But it's opposite of what the party and what followers now believe, because to them and the Republican Party, a college education is the devil, right? The college education now to a lot of people is the devil. College educated people are really the devil. And immigrants are the devil reincarnated. That's where he went. This plan flies in the face of several of ideas that he's pitched before as a candidate and as president. And to think that he not only said this, but says, I'll carry it forward once I get a chance is pretty remarkable. It's going to be interesting to see in a few days if he backs away, if he tries to spin it, which I suspect he probably will. But for right now, the idea itself and where he went is exactly right, and it's healthy. The idea that immigrants are taking your job is bogus. And I think his statement here proves that deep down he doesn't really even believe that. Now he's saying immigrants can create jobs. Ideas create jobs. It doesn't matter what the person looks like or where they're from. Ideas create jobs. And he's right. It feels weird to say it, but he's right. I don't even think it's a popular pitch. His position, I don't even think it's a popular pitch for either party, where both candidates for several decades now, have run around in middle America and promised manufacturing, bring the jobs back. This is a breath of fresh air for someone saying, no, they're not. Basically saying they're not coming back. I can't fix it. But what we can do is keep the talent here. I don't want someone that we educate that is ready to go on and create risk reward and be successful. We don't need them to leave. So I don't think it's a popular pitch by either party. But D. Trump's stay here college graduate plan is spot on. What he said is thoughtful, it's meaningful, and he's right.